Okay, Crabbe's Journal 21. I woke up in a bed, and my head hurt. So did my hand. So did my chest. I seemed to be in a white cell, under a high white ceiling lit with fluorescent lamps. Noises intruded slowly. Coughing, slippered feet dragging on the floor, quiet voices. The wall to the right of my bed began to move, and I saw that the wall was a curtain hung on a track around my bed. It made a hissing noise as it moved away. A face appeared above me, then disappeared. There was a needle in my right forearm, and from it ran a clear tube to a bottle hung upside down on a rack beside my bed. It was warm. I began to slip off again, but the top half of the bed began to move, lifting me almost to a sitting position. I was in a dimly lit ward of about 6 beds. All of them looked occupied. It looked like. A woman in white pants and coat came over to the bed. I recognized her as the one who gave the orders in the other room. "Hello, I'm Dr. Brewster. How are you feeling?" "Lousy." "Are you fully awake?" "I want to get some information from you, but if you're too tired, I'll come back. The anesthetic may not be fully worn off." "The what? What happened?" "Be easy, one step at a time." She took a pen out of her coat pocket, preparing to write on the chart she held, clipped to an aluminum holder. She was small and skinny, with vivid red hair cut short. The hair and steel-framed glasses made her look very businesslike. "What's your name?" she asked, her pen poised. "Never mind. I beg your pardon?" "I don't want to tell you." She looked confused, her knitted brows bringing a harsh line to her face. "Don't you want your family to know where you are?" "You might say I don't have a family." "Oh, I see. No, she didn't, but I let that pass." "What's wrong with me? Why am I here?" I asked her. She sidestepped that and tried a new tack. "Are you still in pain?" The harsh line disappeared. "I sure am. I was, too. My hand, head, chest." She turned and mumbled something to the nurse, who had just arrived. The nurse walked off again. "All right, Mr. Stranger, it's like this." Her voice wasn't unkind. "You want it straight?" I swallowed. My throat was dry. "Of course." "Your head hurts from the anesthetic. It will feel better soon. Your lungs hurt because you have a moderately serious case of double pneumonia. We thought there might be some frost damage in there, but so far the x-rays don't show anything." The nurse had returned, pushing a little cart with a tray on top. I saw a bottle of clear fluid and a needle. "Your left hand," continued the doctor, "hurts from the operation. Luckily for you, and thanks to Jack Johnson, the man who drove you here, we were able to save your hand." I lifted my aching, bandaged hand off the bed and looked at it for the first time. Oh, no. I lifted my aching, bandaged hand off the bed and looked at it for the first time. "But," she went on, "we had to amputate the 2 damaged fingers." "Jesus Christ!" I shouted. "You what?" "Take it easy, son," she said softly. "Take it easy." I gulped, looking at the bandaged hand. You'd never know something was missing. I was shocked, but not surprised, if you know what I mean. The hand had looked awfully bad back at the cabin. I lowered the hand, afraid to think about what a horrible mess must be under the bandages. Strangely, it felt no different, just sore. "I know it's hard, son," said the doctor, "but you almost lost the whole hand. Be thankful for that." I said nothing, still dazed by the news. "We're sending you to the city, to a big hospital. You get a free ride all the way in an ambulance. Maybe they can find out who you are." She turned to the tray and picked up the needle. She inserted it into the little bottle. "But why?" I said. "We don't have enough room for you here. This is a very small clinic. Now I'm going to sedate you so the trip will be easier on you." She leaned over, swabbed my arm, and before I could say boo, I felt the stab, and then nothing. The next few days, maybe 4 or so, it's hard to keep track when you're drugged up, were mostly given to sleeping, getting needles, holding medicine-y tasting thermometers under my tongue, and having an icy stethoscope stuck under the funny nightshirt that tied down the back. I was sort of aware of being in a ward again, but was so tired and groggy I didn't pay much attention. As soon as I started to feel better, they started coming out after me about who I was. First a nurse, then a head nurse, then a doctor, then a stuffy-looking guy in a 3-piece suit, an administrator. I guessed. He tried threats. Then the cops. The nurse, the day nurse, a skinny, gray-haired but kindly woman whose white uniform hung on her like a rag, got me up on the 6th morning and led me out of the ward, down to an antiseptic-smelling hallway to a small corner office. Mr. Three-Piece, a bony, lanky type with thinning black hair and gold-wire glasses, sat behind a polished wooden desk. Standing before the window, looking out, was a big man in a black leather car coat. Through the window, I could see a bright sky and snow powder whipped into crazy patterns by the wind. When the nurse and I came into the room, the big guy turned around. "Thank you, Nurse Owens," said Three-Piece. The door closed quietly. "Sit down, young man," he said to me. No, thanks, I'll stand." Since we were out of the ward, I got the pipe out of the deep pocket of my bathrobe and began filling it. Three-Piece reacted quickly. "No smoking, if you don't mind." "What about him?" I said, pointing the stem of the pipe at the big guy who had a cigar sticking out of a round, friendly face. I wasn't sure, but I think I saw a shadow of a smile across his features. "He is a police officer and an adult," answered the official from behind the desk. "I may be old-fashioned, but I see no reason why your elders need to follow the same rules as you." Three-Piece looked offended as the big guy blew a great cloud of acrid smoke into the room. He was enjoying this. I kept packing the bowl, a difficult job with one hand bandaged. "Well, I don't know about you, but I got to get a load off my feet." This from the big guy as he lowered himself into an imitation leather armchair and leaned forward, resting thick forearms on his legs. From that position, he couldn't crane his neck enough to see me, so he talked to the floor. "You got any objection to telling me your name?" he said casually to the carpet. "Yes, it seems stupid to talk at the guy's balding head, so I sat down, immediately realizing I'd been tricked. I took some time lighting up. He straightened up, took a long haul of the cigar, and shot the smoke out in a jet stream toward Three-Piece, and crossed his arms over his wide chest. The leather coat creaked. "Why?" came from behind the cigar. I was stunned because I couldn't think of an answer. You know how you think into a habit of thought, and you forget why you think that way? I'd been secretive so long it was automatic. I'd had no time to think about my situation. Too much, and his simple questions broke through the habit of the last few months. Really, I thought at that moment there was no point in hiding my identity anymore. I felt a little dumb, as a matter of fact. "Crabbe," I said. "Franklin Crabbe." The cop smiled. Three-Piece looked triumphant. "Now we're getting somewhere," he crowed, picking up his pencil. You could tell he had been going nuts because of all the empty blanks in the chart in front of him. Well, one blank filled, 2,000 to go. "Where are you from, Franklin?" said the cop. I took the pipe out of my mouth. "Crabbe. Don't call me Franklin." The cop held up his beefy hands, palms toward me, and smiled again. "Whatever you say, Crabbe." I told him my parents' address, adding that I didn't live there anymore. Three-Piece looked over at the cop, impressed with the officer, and buttoned up his jacket before filling in some blanks. "Now," continued the policeman, "you want to fill me in on why you were found out in the middle of nowhere?" "No," I said. "That's all you get." Three-Piece looked up, his face reddening. He pointed his pencil at me. "Now you listen, mister. At least I had graduated from young man. We had to know the circumstances of your injuries, and we have to know now, so stop all this childish nonsense." Pleased with his cutting tone, he prepared to write. "Mind your own goddamn business," I said evenly and stood up. As I fumbled with the doorknob, the cop said, "I'm going to bring your parents over here. I have to." "If you have to do it," I said on my way out, "do it."